If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. First of all, it's totally free. You heard me, it's free. What's better than that, right? Anchor also makes it easy by providing tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. How convenient is that? Plus, you can grow your brand because when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on a variety of platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more listening platforms. Best of all, you can make money by growing your listening audience. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. If you're ready to get started so that your voice can be heard, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Trevor. Wait, Daddy, are you making any money off of this?
Nah.
Even though I never live a life of crime, dear God, please forgive this life of mine. In the past I was blind, but now I see. Dead or alive, I truly wonder what's worse to be. Even though I never live a life of crime, dear God, please forgive this life of mine. In the past I was blind, but now I see. Dead or alive, I truly wonder what's worse to be. So many people speaking speculations, no reservations until we end up face to face. Interrogation, your ignorant insinuations have got you facing an escalating situation. Your termination, switching to a different mode. You know the code, you know the show and how it go. I want your soul, you've been bold, but now it's time to fold. Situation getting hot, my heart is getting cold. Out of control, been exposed to so many types. Damn right, I wonder how they sleep at night. To be sufficed, the ones that talk behind my back, put on the act, and the ones that say it to my face, put on their back. This reality and far from fiction, no contradiction. Refuse to lose or be a victim. Corrupted system, put my life on the line. Dear God, please forgive me for this life of mine. This life of mine. I never live a life of crime. Dear God, please forgive this life of mine. In the past I was blind, but now I see. Dead or alive, I truly wonder what's worse to be. Even though I never lived a life of crime. Dear God.
What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I am back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor, the podcast where no topic is off limits. First of all, I want to thank everyone for the continued support. By the time you listen to this show, we have well surpassed 11,000 listens to the Straight Talk with Trevor podcast, and I just can't thank you guys enough. I remember when I got my first 10 listens, I was just going crazy because I didn't think that there was 10 people that wanted to listen to this, but here we are, well over 11,000, and the train just keeps on going. I do want to just come to you with a couple of house cleaning notes before I go to our guest. We do have a new website. I will put that out on the Facebook page because I can't remember, is it Straight Talk with Trevor or Straight Talk Society? You know, my EVP handles all this for me, so I'm just a guy with a microphone. So we will be putting that out there. Please be sure to like us on YouTube at Straight Talk with Trevor. I'm probably about 50 or 60 subscribers away from 1,000. It would really mean a lot to me if we could reach that 1,000 mark, in the next couple of weeks. It won't cost you anything but just a click and a like. That's all. Be sure to like the Straight Talk Society page on Facebook also. That's where I'll be posting the clips of the show and little snippets, previews of upcoming shows, things like that. I haven't gone live on there in a while. I think I'll go live soon. But also what I'm going to start doing is that the guests that do come on my show, that's where I'm going to start posting their the links to their pages and things like that. Just so it's there, because I believe strongly in supporting one another. And, the best way to get the word out is, word of mouth. You just, you let people know. Each one, everybody tell somebody, everybody tell a friend. And, that's the only way you get the word out. Support Black businesses, support other businesses, and just get it going like that. So tonight's show was a phone interview that I've done. A show that I've been I initially reached out to the person back in February. I didn't even think it was that long until I started looking back at my messages. But I had a tremendous conversation, man. And it was just like, it started out one way and then it went another way. Then it came back to the original plan. And then it just like, we're just gonna have to have another show because I legit ran out of time. It was so much information. But I reached out to my friend Nicole. She's the owner of Naturally Lyfted. It's a health and wellness company, I'll say. I won't say like, it's not like a GNC or anything. She sells natural products, Dr.Sebi inspired products and things like that. And, she has your brownies and your smoothies and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview as much as I enjoyed doing it. And I don't think I'm going to have to come back to close this out. So I leave you with these words before I go. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. And with that, until next time, peace. Let's go out to the Straight Talk with Trevor phone lines. And on the phone, I have Nicole. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So the reason I wanted to talk to you, I want to talk about your product, your company, first of all. Then I kind of want to get into the backstory of how the company started. And then I kind of want to get into some ratchet stuff with you, if that's okay, if we had time.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I want to read a quote for you. Mm-hmm. I want you to tell me if you know where this came from. So this isn't a diet, but a lifestyle change for a higher vibration. You know who said that?
Oh, well, that would be me. That's my brand.
Okay, that's your brand. All right. And I want you to tell me about said brand. So I'm reading your bio, and it all started in 2015. So nobody could tell your story like you. And I'll just interject here and there. But what caused you to start Naturally Lyfted?
All right. Well, crazy part is I was overweight during this time, but I started jogging. And you already know that I'm a marijuana advocate.
We'll get there.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because I was smoking not too clean. I used to smoke out of backwoods. And I'm telling you, Trevor, it was probably no more than like a quarter of a mile. And I threw up. And it was just so brown and slimy and disgusting. And I'm like, something's got to give. You know what I mean?
How long had you been smoking?
Since I was knee high to a grasshopper. No, but I would probably say like middle school, 14, 15.
Hey, you ain't getting no judgment from me.
Well, but anyway, so I started researching. Well, I changed up how I started smoking. I changed. I wanted just to be more healthier. I'm like, this is disgusting. So then I started doing more research, and I came across Dr.Sebi. And I started listening to his lectures, and it was almost like he was like, you know how you hear something and it's like, yeah, but like it was like it was speaking to my soul. You know what I mean? I'm just like, let me give this a try. You know, so I started following. I started with his herbs, and I'm noticing. So, like I said, a quarter of a mile, I'm already pulling over, out of breath, throwing up. I couldn't even do a quarter of a mile. I'm on this man's products. I'm running 8 miles. Probably do that like an hour and a half straight. You know what I mean? Like my whole energy changed. So my dad fell sick, and I started giving him these herbs, and I saw the change in him. And it was like and my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. You know, so at that point, you know, it had already metastasized, you know, throughout his body, but the herbs was able to comfort him. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of folks, when you're dying, it's like that pain is like you're begging to die. You know what I mean? So when I'm giving him these herbs, and you know, he's telling me he was also obese, and he's like, you know, I'm able to even laugh through a sitcom. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's a lot. You know, when you have lung cancer, you can't even laugh because you can't even. It's a lot. So it was clearing. I'm watching it before my eyes, just helping this man out. So I started making the smoothies and implementing the herbs and giving it to friends and families. And I'm watching the reverse. Like everybody is like, you know, like this is it. You know what I mean? So it's happening right before my eyes.
Okay,
like,
hold on, because I don't want to go. I don't want to jump ahead. I don't want to go too far. Let's back up a little bit. So the first thing you said that you were overweight.
Yeah, I was.
So okay, so for people who don't know her, and hopefully when you guys listen to the show, you'll go support her product and do all that thing. Follow her on social media and all that stuff. Nicole is. So if you look at Nicole now, just beautiful black woman. I mean, body of a gymnast, I'd say. So,
well, thank you.
So in my mind, when I hear this, is like, man, I can't ever imagine her being overweight. And then you posted a picture a few months ago of a side-by-side comparison, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not like you were big, but compared to what you are now, you're like, man. And so now you're saying, because I want to get to the marijuana thing. So the first time I ever burned was out of backwoods, and backwoods tastes disgusting.
Well, we know that's tobacco, so that wasn't even good. I was living a dirty lifestyle. I was smoking out of tobaccos. I was eating dirty, living dirty. Like that's what it was. So, and what came out was a representation of what was inside of me.
So, okay. So let's, cause in your story, you know, I'm reading your story and it says that, that you started with a spiritual journey. So
I did.
A lot of times when people hear spiritual journey, they're always like, oh, somebody just went to church and got dipped with some water or some crap like that. And now all of a sudden, I'm a new person. What did that spiritual journey entail for you?
My spiritual journey, well, we've been friends since kids, right? And for the most part, I was in school, but a lot of times I wasn't in school as well. I would say one thing about me is I knew something, like I just didn't believe what these people kept telling me. It just wasn't making sense. It wasn't adding up. You know what I mean? So just like, I mean, okay, I'm not against anyone else's religion, but what does not add up to me is me praying to someone who does not look like me. I mean, I don't know if that's, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be, I don't know, insult to anyone, but it's just like, it was a lot of things. And it's just like, these are the same people that's controlling so much of my life. And it's just like, I don't see where the balance is at.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
That's my next show after this, but if you want to go there, we could go there. So let's talk about that, because, you know, you realize that from a young age. It took me until I got in my 40s to realize, like, hey, wait a minute. my whole concept of God is based off of what somebody told me.
There you have it.
And
Interpretation.
And I never took the time to say, hey, maybe if this book that we're reading was given to us by our oppressors, what else in there might not be, maybe they're leading us down the wrong path. And I mean, we ain't going to go deep down in that rabbit hole, but I feel you. So
listen, so when it went from that, right, to, okay, I started adding that to school. Come on, Trevor. We used to go into the classroom and what they got hanging on the door. You got the pyramid of how to eat on the door. Mm-hmm. The bottom was nothing but meat. That's telling us that majority of the food on our plates should be meat, right? Mm-hmm. The next row had the breads. The next row had the fish and the fruits, and then you had the water at the top.
Never looked at it that way.
That's not normal. That's not normal.
I never looked at it. I never looked at it that way.
All right, yeah, but that was implant. That's because it's a lot of symbolism going on, and it's something that I peeped from a young, very young age. Like, it does not make sense. And I think what helps my journey is the fact that my family is from Jamaica. You know what I mean? So as a kid, I left the States and was able to go to another country and see the lifestyle. And it's just like, it was a lot. It's like, how is it that I'm leaving the United States and I'm hanging out with my cousins who are younger than me, but yet they're more advanced? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I go over there, we still coloring. They over there 212, 224, 236. What the hell?
And I'm from Jamaica, so I know exactly what you mean.
So if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure you experienced that if you came here, they wanted to hold you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then it's all, and that's just more psychological to remind you that you ain't better than nobody. It's a lot. And I peeped all of this from a young age.
So, man, see, I never expected this to go this way, but I'm so.
All right, that talk ain't the one you might not want to talk to.
No. Listen, you on the right platform here. That's why the show is called Straight Talk with Trevor, the podcast where no topic is off limits. We could go.
Okay, then.
We can go anywhere. We could go anywhere.
Let's run it.
I have especially now. I mean, now hindsight being 2020, I always look at, even when I'm talking to my homies, I always be like, man, they fed us a bunch of bullshit in school because we didn't learn anything. Nothing I learned in school helps me in this practical world
at all.
And I see that while you were on your spiritual journey, you took up what is it? You start researching into African American history, which the African American history that we're taught is the bare bones basics, like Martin Luther King. Like, they don't go into anything. So tell me a little bit about your African American history studies.
Well, my history, I was lucky enough for my father to give me my grandmother's photo album. I have family members, pictures from 1940s, 30s, picking cotton. And my heritage actually goes back to the Comanche Indians. I have Native American in me. My father's side, you know what I mean? So it's like, I grew up always knew on my mother's side. My dad was my dad was in the army, but he was the only child. He suffered PTSD, so he really didn't talk a lot. I really don't know much. That's really where a lot of my research come from, because it's like, I don't even look like my mother's side of the family. I look like a sore thumb. So it just made me want to, like, wait a minute, something. You get what I'm saying? Like, all right, I love y'all because y'all taught me, you get what I'm saying, what I need to know, but there's something missing. There's something missing. My dude just put up an article the other day talking about how Biden's still trying to get off in Arizona with the Indians. They still want more of their land.
And I don't know how much of my show you ever heard or outside of clips or whatever, but one thing I constantly harp on, like, black people, my show is very black people centered, and so-called black people. we don't ever ask enough questions. It's like,
Right.
it's like as black people, we literally just, if they tell us, hey, if they tell us this is what it is, you're like, well, it looks like it may be, right? So let me just accept it. So how is that? How has that been like growing up? I want to get back to the spiritual thing, but growing up, and I'm pretty sure everybody's around you probably pushing like, oh yeah, spirituality is this church and this and that, and this and this and that. But you're thinking within yourself at a young age, like, man, how come I'm praying to somebody who doesn't look like me? Like, what was the opposition to that? Did anybody try to tell you like, oh, Nicole, you're just overreacting. You better pray to that white Jesus that we have hanging on our wall? Did you receive any opposition to that?
Of course I did. So, like I said, my mother is Jamaican. And, you know, we had to go to church definitely on Sundays, but also Monday through Saturday. But my issue was something about Sundays. There was just something, it's still present to this day. Something about Sundays, something about single moms and Sundays in church just do not go together. My mom, it was always some type of a feud when this lady came home from church. It never failed. I'm like, so what? You went to church and picked up the devil and brought his ass home? Like, what happened? And why does this happen every damn Sunday? There's no way I'm going to church. If this is what's happening when you go to these people's church, I'm not going. Not.
You know, and this is coming from me. You know, I was a preacher. I was a licensed ordained preacher for 25 years.
I remember.
And now I'm just now starting to see the light, the light that they always talk about you're seeing. I'm starting to see it, and I'm realizing that it never should have been in those four walls. So I get it, man. And I do have a problem with single women always spending all this time in church, you know, while their family's at home and this and that. So, damn, I didn't expect it. So, all right. So you said that you said that Dr. Sebi touched your soul, like his words. And
He did.
What we know of Dr. Sebi is what Left Eye told us on documentaries and things like that. So what was it about what he was doing as versus any other healthcare regimen that was out?
It was all right. You know how you listen to other health doctors and it's just like, all right, this is what I want to say. The word, okay, when you talk to health doctors, they also talk about all these medications and all these things that you can't even pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
When Dr. Sebi talks, he talks straight logics. He talks on our level. He talks our lingo. He talks for you to understand. You know what I mean? He talks our verbiage. It's like, I can't explain it.
No, I get.
I really can't explain it. It just hit. He felt like, you know what I mean? Like he should be like, if he said his name was Jesus, I would believe that better.
I'm so glad you said that. Listen, I want to parallel something. So I've been I haven't physically been inside of a church in probably going on 3 years now. With the exception of being at a funeral and probably a wedding. But
okay.
So what I've been studying lately is the Hebrew Israelites. I don't know how familiar you are.
I did all of that too. I sure did.
So I'm not. I don't think I'm a Hebrew Israelite because some of their stuff is way out of there. But some of their talking points, it's like they're like, so you go to church and you guys worship this white Jesus who looks like your colonizer. Why not? So, and then they start showing every other nation and like what their God looks like. You know, they'll show Buddha and they'll show Krishna. They'll show all these other gods. And they're like, how come everybody's God looks like them? But when it
but
comes,
ours.
but when it comes to black people, they give you this. Man, I'm trying not to cuss so much, but they give you this hippie, and tell you that that's your savior. And I started to think about that. I'm like, damn. So like I'm listening to what you're saying, and we're not deifying Dr. Sebi, but he in many respects he was a god. Like he was like a god, because God only means power and authority. I mean, it was he spoke to your soul. He led you to the way of salvation.
There you have
it. Because I mean, not for nothing. I'm not even gonna say that. I'll move on. But I was about to get real disrespectful, but I'm not even gonna do that. But
okay, let's not disrespect the people though.
Yeah, he led you to salvation.
He did.
Because because you say that you were you were in a really dark place. I don't know if you care to share what the dark place was. If not, we'll move on. But you said that you were in a really dark place before you started taking the spiritual journey and meditating on his words and cleaning up your lifestyle.
Right.
So I mean,
well, I'm not gonna get too in depth with what it is that I went through, but it's common. Most women have been molested, in their life. For me, it was something that happened from the age of 5 to 12. 3 boy cousins. It was damn near a daily thing, and it wasn't even like that was the issue. It was more so the people that were supposed to protect me. You know what I mean? It was almost like they weren't there. So at a young age, I had to actually just understand that the only person that was behind me was God. I couldn't trust my mother. I couldn't trust the person or the Jesus that she was praying to, because even to this day, she still prayed to, a white man Jesus. So it's like we're not on the same level. I have mom PTSD issues, so it puts me in a very crazy place. And I would say it was spiritual because me and my mom's birthday happened to be the same day, and I'm her only daughter.
Oh wow!
So it's like, damn, how are we so much alike but we different? My mom's a nurse, you know what I mean? But I guess I could consider myself a nurse. I'm just not the MD. You get what I'm saying? Like I deal with nature.
You're the street pharmacist.
You feel me? So we opposite, if you can see what I'm saying. So, and that's been my lifestyle with her growing up. It's been, I don't know if you remember the movie Mommy Dearest. It was like that, like yeah. So that's it, Mommy Dearest. That was me.
So let me ask you a question, and I don't want to harp on this one too long, but I have a therapist that always comes on my show, and she talks about molestation a lot. How come in our community, and you'll hear me say that all the time, our community, black people, this and that, because really that's what the show is geared towards.
That's good. That's what it's for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So how come in our community we always tend to protect the molesters over the victims?
I struggle with that. I have no idea. That is my biggest struggle, yo. I have no idea. I cannot figure that out. Man. And I would actually say that is I have conquered a lot of things in my life, and that is like the last hurdle. I don't even know why I'm trying to search for understanding, because in my family, it's like it's still happening. You know what I mean? I have went to far extents of trying to rectify the issue, and it's just like, I can't get it. It's like there's this big ass elephant in the room, and it's just like, black people, we just love elephants. We love putting shit under a mat. And it's like, I do not understand why we do this. I don't.
Man.
I don't get it. That is my biggest struggle right now. I thought you were gonna tell me that you got the therapist so you can give me her phone number, man.
Oh no, I'll
Or
give you.
something.
Oh no, I'll definitely give you her info. Listen, she is.
Yes, please.
Yeah, she is awesome, man. You probably know her. We all went to school together, so you probably know her. But I'll give you her info off air.
Yes, please.
So, damn, I mean, the elephant in the room is always like we sweep things under the rug and we just don't. And I think that's why we're so held back as a people.
Well, yes, I would say in my life, the problem is mine is so because of that, it had me on a spiritual search because if I found out that I'm actually at a spiritual warfare when it comes to my old girl and when it comes to my predators. I'm at a spiritual warfare as we speak right now with that same subject.
Man. So I just want to make an abrupt turn, but so what type of products were you using from Dr. Sebi? And is it Sebi or Sebi? I always hear people say it different.
Well, they call him Dr.Sebi. And I basically used everything he had. Everything he had. I used his bromide powder, which is sea moss and bladderwrack. I also made my own, which is what I call Mineral 92. I used his iron, which he had called what did he call it? He called it a certain name, but everything that he had made, and I mean the funny thing is I still have all the bottles of everything. It is so I have it like souvenirs. It's so crazy.
Oh, cool.
But I have everything from when that man was still alive, and even when it came to my psychological, he had a product that's called Lupolio, and when I tell you, there was a moment that I had like a mental breakdown, and when I tell you that product, I don't know what that is, but it really helped my mental because I'm like at this point I'm going to end up in a psych ward.
So what do you say to the people, and because they're out there that call him a con artist, just that he was just scamming the people?
Well, the funny thing is, my father's wife said the same thing. So that's the reason. Like the funny thing is, she saw the product working, and it had got to the point where now my father didn't live close to me, so I would get him all the herbs. I went and bought him a blender, brought him everything that he needed to make smoothies and to add the herbs to it. Taught his wife and my sister how to make the smoothies or whatever, and they were doing fine, especially when he started getting better. Then all of a sudden, his smoothies started getting sabotaged, and his health took a down spill, and his wife went down talking Dr.Sebi, and he ended up in the hospital, and he tells me, let his wife take over, and hey, what can I do? I know I saw that it worked. I know in the hospital, I know the doctor said that it worked.
So do you think he was murdered?
I wouldn't. Well, I don't even want to say that, but yeah. Hey, look, I don't even want to say that, but yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen, I know it's a real touchy. I know it's a real touchy subject when they come to when it comes to him. So
yeah.
But the conspiracies are out there, and
of course,
and I don't leave any stone unturned. Like I'll.
But he ain't the only one. You do your research. They knock off a lot of holistic doctors. He ain't the only one.
And you know why though? Because the money is in the medicine and not the cure.
Of course, we know that.
It would be. Of course. It would be so easy to cure people of your common ailments, and but then the big pharmaceutical companies wouldn't be making all this money. They would.
Correct.
So you talk a lot. You talk a lot about mucus in the body, like a lot of infections coming from mucus. And the reason I bring that up is because I was talking to somebody today, and they brought that up, and I was like, man, that's interesting. I'm interviewing somebody today who's big on that. So what role does mucus really play? Because when I think about mucus, I'm just thinking about, like, if you got a stuffy nose and you got to blow your nose.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking about is mucus. But
well, you know why that's what you're thinking? Because that's what they taught us. But mucus is the cause of every disease. Mucus is nothing but a concentrated area. So, like, or a disease is nothing but a concentrated area of mucus. So if you have a concentration of mucus in your lungs, now you have bronchitis. You open your lungs up, it looks like a bunch of mucus in your lungs.
Let me put this disclaimer out there.
So any part of the body where you have a dis-ease, it's nothing but a concentration of mucus. See, they like to put all these fancy names on it, separate it, break it down, make it seem like it's more than it is, because they'll get more money. But at the end of the day, it's still mucus. You can't heal one part of the body without healing another part. If you're going to heal one part, you have to heal every cell in the body. But they're not going to tell you that.
So I just want to put this quick disclaimer out there that we aren't medical doctors.
We are not.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation. It's just two friends having a conversation. So don't try to flag my show and say, oh, they gave false medical. No.
We did not.
Yeah, we're just two people. We're just two people having a conversation.
Make sure to do your own research.
But it's so weird. Like even that they would they would always tell us, like, marijuana smoke. They'd always be like, oh, it's so bad for you. And my thing has always been this. I started smoking when I was 17. So my thing is always this. I have never heard it. It may be a handful, because you could always find a handful of people that did something. But I have never heard of a huge number of people dying from marijuana smoke.
I've never heard of one.
I've heard of millions of people dying from tobacco and, alcohol and other stuff like that, but never marijuana. So why do you think marijuana is so vilified?
Well, because this is the thing. See, they teach us about just smoking marijuana, because when I was introduced to marijuana, we smoked it, right? Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Now, don't get me wrong. Smoking it has some major benefits. But ain't nothing like eating it. When you eat it, it is healing. We as humans have natural what is the word?
Cannabinoids?
Yes, receptors. Right? So it's like we have little Ys in our bodies waiting for the cannabinoid. We are designed to be with this plant. But see, that's a problem, is that society has taught us that for some reason humans are separate from plants. Us as humans cannot function in this world without plants. That means as health, for food, for living, we have to have plants. It is an ecosystem.
So now I can tell you this, when I get brownies every now and then. Shout out to Zay and Janet for providing me with those fantastic brownies. I know you have them also, but so I'm a big man. I'm 6 foot 260 pounds, and I just take like a half of that brownie, and it like puts me on my ass. But I'm telling you, it's the best sleep. I wake up so relaxed, versus when I take like a Z-Quil or something. I wake up all groggy, and I'm just, I don't know what the hell's going on. But again, they vilify. I always said this, that weed was always looked down on so much because they couldn't tax it. Well, now,
Of course.
but now you see all the dispensaries now. Oh, now it's open season now. What did Biden
Of
just say?
course.
What did Biden just say? Anybody who has a weed charge, he's letting them out. You know,
Right.
now everybody's probably starting to realize that maybe weed wasn't as bad as we thought.
It never was. So from what I researched and found, back when they was looking for soldiers for their wars, they couldn't find anybody because everybody was in love. Everybody was either on marijuana or doing shrooms or, back in the hippie days. So then they banned those things. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, because we like I've been, I've been high and it has never made me. So I've been drunk and gone into like violent cursing rages and things like that. I've never done any other drug but weed and the so-called drug.
Same here.
And I when I'm high, it's like literally I'm just high. I become the smartest man in the room. And I just want to love everybody, and it has never made me feel aggressive to anybody. So I'm just shocked at how it's so vilified.
Which is amazing to me as well. I don't, and like I said, they don't want people loving each other. They don't like the angerness. They needed the angerness back then. You know what I mean? So they went ahead and banned it, all of that.
Explain to me what alkaline means.
Alkaline is basically your pH, right? We all know that 7 means neutral. Anything underneath a 7 is acid, and anything above 7 is alkaline. Basically, when a human being or animal or anything is sick, their body is now acidic. So in order to raise that balance, you're going to have to add alkalinity.
And
everyone in that hospital who is sick is acidic.
So now how does one raise their alkaline levels?
Well, first of all, what makes the body acidic? And it's the foods that you eat. It's the meats, it's the sugars, it's the white, it's the breads, and in order to raise the things that are alkaline, and alkaline means God for the most part when you're dealing with nature, because anything that's alkaline, God made it. It does not need the help of man. Right? So when you're eating these fruits and veggies, you're raising your pH, you're raising your vibration, and whatever is wrong, and not even that, your cells are repairing themselves.
Say you giving me a lesson tonight, because I follow you on all social media, and I see you posting this stuff, and I'm like, damn, like what does any? And by the way, while we're at it, before we run out of time, just go ahead and give your social media and things like that, ways people can follow you.
Okay, well, my name is Nicole Scroggins. You can find me I'm the owner of Naturally Lyfted. Lyfted is with a Y. I'm on Facebook as Naturally Lyfted, Instagram as Naturally Lyfted. You can find me on TikTok, Naturally Lyfted.
And I will
YouTube.
I will be
Yes.
putting all that in the description. So, see, in that roundabout way, we came right back to it. So, 2017, Naturally Lyfted was. I shouldn't have jumped the gun. What happened in 2017?
When I ended up in the hospital, basically, this was behind a birth control. Now, for some reason in our community as well, they love giving us birth control. Well, my birth control almost killed me. Now, even though my body was alkaline, I had a foreign object that had moved out of place that was engaged in my body. So it kept puncturing holes, and I'm in Mexico in their water, and it's getting infected. So I come back home. I end up in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I don't know if you saw my live about that that I post, but yeah. So long story short, if it wasn't for me being alkaline, I truly do not think I would have been here today. That's on everything. And what the scary part about my experience was that I had the pharmacist of the hospital come to my room and tell me I'm a 1%, right? That my body, like all the patients, for the most part, the ones that are sick, they're acidic, and my body was alkaline. This is coming from the pharmacist. And they had me on all type of antibiotics. I mean, and to the point where I had a PICC line. They wanted to send me home with a nurse, but every antibiotic that they had me on, it was too much for me because I wasn't acidic. So by the time they gave me an antibiotic that worked, it was the first one ever created, and it only cost me $30.
So how long?
And so that was confirmation. Go ahead.
How long after that did you found Naturally Lyfted?
Naturally Lyfted was founded basically while I was in that bed. Like when I got out, I was just like, yeah, no, because it was like after that pharmacist confirmed, like these are my numbers. This is what you are coming to my room and telling me. You know what I mean? Like I freaked out because at this point I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the hospital, because you can't move. To me, a hospital there's a difference between a hospital and a jail. You can't move, you can't go nowhere. Everybody wearing the same outfit. You feel me? You telling me I'm a 1% and I'm in a hospital. So y'all, what y'all doing? Y'all running tests on me? What are y'all doing? Because a procedure that I had should have only been a couple of hours. It was supposed to be an outpatient procedure. Just them removing my IUD. I ended up staying in the hospital for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 different surgeries behind an IUD.
Wow.
And I'm cognizant. That's the scary part.
So, so now you create this company, and I mean, what did you start with as far as like product line? Because I mean, we'll get to where you are now.
I started with Mineral 92, which is the bromide that Dr.Sebi had, which is sea moss and bladderwrack, because Mineral 92 has 92 minerals that the body needs. And I didn't let those people feed me in the hospital. I would not eat their food. Only thing I had was my Dr.Sebi's and whatever, smoothies and stuff and food that my dude and my family would bring me. That's it. I would not eat these people food.
So
and I basically survived off of that bromide powder, that Mineral 92.
So what would you say to the person that's listening to this? And because they're out there and they're gonna be like, damn, she's just a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
So,
well, I almost lost my life. So it's not even about being a conspiracy theorist. I almost lost my life, and I have the hospital, the people that are against what I'm doing, telling me you're 1%.
Man. Wow.
So I don't know if that's conspiracy, but that was I have that on that's written down on paper.
So the Mineral 92 is that men and women, and anybody could use that?
That's for anyone. That's sea moss. And like I said, so we go and we take these multivitamins that really, I don't know if they really multivitamin, you know what I mean? But the sea moss has the 92 minerals, and your body has 102. The only minerals that the Mineral 92 is missing is iron. So once you add iron, you have all 102 minerals that the body needs. And I also have a product which is called Blood Support, which is the iron that has the burdock and the sarsaparilla and those herbs that are good for us to eat, or made for us to eat. Because when they give us iron, it's iron oxide. So now we got to take iron plus a supplement, because now we can't shit. You feel me? Like, you give me iron, but now I got rocks. Like, it doesn't, like, nothing makes sense when you deal with them.
Man. Listen, if I would have knew this was gonna go like this, when I hit you up back in February, I would have stayed on top of you about this, man. God, I love this conversation. So what else do you what else is in your product line? I know we've purchased the king, the queen, and the elderberry, especially around like flu season and stuff like that. You see that Straight Talk Society. I actually support my friends.
Thank you. Yes, you do. And I will still say the elderberry because guess what? They giving me a hard time about selling it. Like, why y'all keep giving me a hard time?
Really?
Yes. Yes. If you go on my Instagram right now and go to my shops or even my Facebook and go to my shops and try to buy the elderberry through them, it's gonna tell you not approved. Why they keep giving me a hard time, I do, and that's the point. The fact that these people keep giving me a hard time lets me know that I'm on the right path.
So I guess I never asked you what kind of, and don't give up your sources or anything, nothing like that. But what kind of clearance do you have to get to sell like health products?
You don't need any of that because if you go on the GNC, nothing in there is FDA approved.
I used to work for GNC for 2 years, so I know.
Yeah. No, and when you're selling herbs can't be patented. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, they don't need none of that.
Okay, didn't I? Okay, I was wondering.
It's a dietary supplement. It's up to you, but no, they do not have to be FDA approved.
So now, as far as your business, because I mean, from the outside looking in, it looks like you're really doing really good.
Thank you.
As far as your business, what's and I always ask this question to anybody that comes on and that has a business. What's your support been like from your people?
The funny thing is, I love my people, man. They keep me pushing. It's what I would say. Them coming back and telling me the changes that they've seen in their lives, and then now they passing it on, or whatever the case is. It's like the support is major. And the funny thing is, I'm thinking that I guess I end up having imposter syndrome or thinking that maybe I don't know how big my reach really is until I go outside and people are like, aren't you naturally lifted and blah, 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 blah. And, oh, I changed this and changed that. Like, I mean, it's been humbling, man.
Listen,
it's humbling.
Listen, as someone who's, I think we've gotten either brownies or Rice Krispie treats from you, one of the two, but I've used the King before. We still have elderberry in the fridge. I mean, so it's not like I'm just talking. In this household, we've done really good where we don't really get sick. So I'd like to attribute it to that. So you're big on. I sit in the weeds and I sit in the clouds. And I'm like, man, she's like the damn smoothie queen. Tell me about the smoothies.
Well, the smoothies is what changed my life as well, because the thing is this: when we also growing up, and even now, when you watch TV, you don't see fruits and vegetables on the TV. And it's like that's what we need. We need fruits and vegetables. And the funny thing is, a lot of us grow up not even eating it at all. Like one thing I'm running across a lot more now is stomach cancer. You got people that's 20, 30 years old, never even ate nothing green in their life. Once again, we are human beings this is an ecosystem. We, like this world, we all come together as one. We cannot survive without the other. There is no way you are going to make it without eating fruits and vegetables. It is impossible. You're not going to make it long.
And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and the reason why I do smoothies is because it's an easy way to get it in raw, and make it taste good.
So the smoothies that you sell, you do those all yourself?
I do make them myself. And the smoothies I sell, you ain't going to find them type of smoothies out there. I don't use ice. I use straight fruits, vegetables. And we make those cold enough that it makes the smoothie thick enough. And like, how you'll get a smoothie and it's all watered down, or you'll get a smoothie and it's all milk and sugar. Like, no, this is fruits and vegetables, but it's very compacted. And then I add all the herbs, the sea mosses, and like I said, the bladderwracks and the burdocks, and I add all of that to the smoothie. That way, you're not only just eating, you're healing yourself at the same time. It's a purposeful meal.
And you're currently doing. I think I saw this. You're currently promoting like I think it's like a 3 to 7 day cleanse or something to that effect.
Right. So what my company does, what we do is every month, the beginning of the month, we do a 7 day smoothie fast. Nothing but smoothies for 7 days. We give our body a break. We let it heal. We let it repair. We let our cells charge up. And then we could take on whatever masses that, or, whatever it is that they enjoy doing.
Wow. So, we got like 10 minutes left, but I wanted to kind of jab with you here.
Sure.
So we were talking, and what does your diet consist of? Like, what, because you told me you're not necessarily a vegetarian. What
Right.
what would you classify yourself as?
I would say I'm more of a pescatarian at times, not every day. But if I was to have, you know, fish, I'll do it not every day, like maybe twice, if that tops of, for the week. Other than that, it's fruits and vegetables.
So you're majority plant based.
Yes, I'm a plant based.
And what kind of fish would you consume?
Snapper, and I have a fisherman, so I have friends that actually go out there and go catch mine.
You're a real Jamaican. That's not.
You feel
That's never.
me?
So now I listen. I'm a dude with a microphone,
Hmm.
I like to start shit. I haven't read one book on this, but
Okay.
I contend that me at 6 foot 260 pounds, I am
Hmm.
a staunch meat eater. That I am just as healthy as somebody that's vegan, plant based, you know, the whatever. Like, so what what could you show me otherwise?
Well, like like I said, I can cut you in half and show you the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there you have
I
it.
can cut you in half and show you the difference. But one thing and that's the problem with our society is we know how to, we like to dress things up. If we're in pain, you know, because we're strong, we want to dress it. By the time we find out or do take a look, we're damn near sick, dying. You know what I mean? And it's just like we got to stop dressing up or just feeling like, even, oh well, because you can't work out a bad diet. I wouldn't care how good you look on the outside. You can't dress that up. You know what I mean? Like if you're eating meats and stuff like that, and you're doing it on an everyday basis, you that when it comes to your heart, now you have to check on your cholesterol. Are you just going to fall dead one day? You look good, but you just going, you know what I mean? Is your heart just going to give out one day? So you have these silent killers that really affects us, and we feel like, oh, because I threw some weights and jogged a little, but I'm going to eat this, that, and the third. You can't do that. The food is what powers us, not the weights, not the, you know what I mean? Like I love the gym, but it's the food. It's what I put into my body that makes the outside what it is.
I got nothing.
Nothing at all.
I
I
got
mean,
I
you
got
you
nothing.
be fighting. What's
No,
up?
so because here's the thing. Like, I'm no fool, and
Hmm.
the older I get, I realize that I do have to make changes. So I have cut back on a lot of things, and I've been contemplating. I'll never give up meat. So, like, as far as steak and everything, which
Hmm.
again, it's not like it's something that I eat every day. I may eat it once or twice a week, but So I'll never give it up fully, but I have been consciously adding more raw stuff to my
Okay.
diet. And
And that's where it starts at. Hmm.
so I hear you. I'm a lot of times I'm just joking when I say that. Come on, I know that plant eaters are. I mean, you could look at a silverback gorilla, which that's nothing but muscle.
Hey, I was just about to hit you with him.
And
I was
all.
just about to hit you with him, and he only eats greens,
Yeah.
leaves.
So I mean, yeah. So you listen, you're not gonna get no pushback from me with that. The older I get,
Well,
I realize that some things have to change.
I would just say for those that's listening, right? When they brought us here, they didn't bring our food with us. So we're eating another man's diet. You don't see Indians out eating American food. You don't see Chinese out eating American. We're the only ones that just do shit backwards.
Yeah. Hey, one thing on that, you don't see Chinese people eating the shit that they sell us. All
Oh,
right.
okay then. All right then. So we're the only ones out there just doing shit backwards. So you got to eat where you come from. So for instance, the gorilla comes from where we come from. And look how big and strong he can be, and he only eats fruits and berries and leaves. Whereas the polar bear comes from where, white folks come from. They need the meat. Why? Because they're in the cold. Their body needs that. So you got to eat to your climate. You almost got to go visit the zoo. When you go to the zoo, you got all these different species and they all got different diets. And it's the same thing with us. So the reason why we are so sick is because we're eating another man's diet. We're not eating our diet.
I'm gonna make a clip out of that.
All right, then. You do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where their money is at. And you got to understand, they taught us to be the consumers. They've been making money off of us. When it comes to being sick in America, black folks, we're number one in everything. So the biggest discipline that black folks need to learn how to do is discipline ourselves as to what it is we put in our mouths. They pay big money for their marketing for a reason.
You're not gonna get any pushback from me because
Come on,
listen,
Trevor, give me something, man.
I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something soon, but
All right.
because I deal with I'm on this YouTube panel and the host of the panel is he's plant based and he's always harping on me. He's like, look at the structure of your teeth and everything. You weren't meant to
At
eat
all.
meat and stuff like that. So I totally listen. This has been great
At
talking.
all.
This conversation has been great talking to you, and I could go on for a whole nother hour, but my time is running down. But before you go, I want to take you in the weeds. I need you to answer a question for me. You ready to get into my debauchery?
I'm ready.
All right. So this morning, I'm not gonna tell you where I went, but this morning I'm getting my breakfast. And the young lady that was serving it had pink hair. And if that wasn't bad enough, then she had the fake lashes, which no big deal. Women are doing that now. But on the end of the fake lashes, she had the tips were colored to match her hair. So now, as a black woman, black queen, and you're natural, again, like I say, once y'all go look her up and y'all see her, y'all gonna be like, oh shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Natural woman. How do you feel about something like that? Because I could only talk like as a man. Like when I see stuff like that, it bothers me to no end because I feel like there's a complex in black women that they don't really know how beautiful they are. Maybe nobody ever told them how beautiful they are. They probably didn't hear from their dads enough. But
Yep.
the fact that they do this extra shit and then there's no one to say, hey, girl, that's not it. That doesn't look good. What do you think about something like that?
Well, that's another part of my business. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, but I teach women to love themselves how they are. Like you don't need all that extra shit. The funny thing is, I love it, and I don't even mind that a lot of them are doing it, and they going as far as the BBLs and all that. Because guess what? They're just going to make more women like me extinct. I'm going to be one of a kind. So keep it up.
Hey, listen, I never thought of it that way because
all right there, yeah, I'm on that right now.
Because I look at women like you and I look at my wife and I'm like, man, y'all like
right, one of a kind.
Yeah,
We're
like
rare.
Yeah, like y'all are real women, like built great and everything, and like y'all extinct now. You know, because you get these women.
Hey, there you have it.
These women getting these implants and they don't even wear their natural hair anymore, and it's just like all the makeup and stuff like that is just going overboard. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
There you have it.
Nothing wrong with doing a little makeup here and there, but man, don't look like a clown with it.
Well, I just think that the sad part is I think the men let our women down and they're fighting with their younger selves and the younger women, and the insecurities have just gone. I mean, the insecurity has had like it has tripled 300 folds, like 1,000 folds. You get like insecurities through the roof right now, and I would say social media has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah,
or if not damn near everything to do with it, you know. But there is nothing wrong. Like, God made no mistakes, baby. You are beautiful. And the only way, and like, I love, you know what I love seeing the most, and I'm someone who I love working out, whatever, but what is so beautiful to me is seeing a big girl love herself and her confidence. You know what I mean? It's just like, yes. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what size you are, just love you. And if you don't like what it is that you see, do something naturally about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you got this big ass gut, change how you eat. You cutting it off ain't gonna change that, because now you got to grow that shit back in order for you to cut it off again. Like, what you finna, and is you gonna cut off the piece in the back of your neck? Like, you gonna do that too, or you just like, it don't makes no sense.
Listen, I would love to keep this going, and I should have started this a little earlier, but I got like 15 seconds. Listen, I really, really appreciate you coming on, and we definitely got to do this again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. I'll talk to you later.
All right, same here.
If you can't get enough of Straight Talk with Trevor, be sure to like our Facebook page. You'll get page-only exclusives like links to early shows and behind-the-scenes video footage. You can also participate in polls that might shape future shows. The best thing about our Facebook page is that's where you can get in direct contact with Trevor. You can also leave show topics, reviews, or even request to be a guest on the show. Again, like us on Facebook, and thank you for your continued support.